It's Wednesday, May 15th. I'm Adam Walsh, and this is The Signal. Welcome to our spring cleaning show. Let's talk about getting rid of a year of life crud and clutter while being thoughtful about where it all goes. We're going to have spick and span tips for you, plus chats on keeping your previously loved items out of the landfill, and more. Do you know what I hate? Cleaning. I really dislike spring cleaning, but when it's done, that feeling of calm, the tidiness, the smell of a home refreshed, or there's also the thought of a neighborhood without the empty coffee cups and the cigarette butts. You know, those little gifts left after winter's melt. Heaven. Today, we're talking about spring cleaning. And if you have tips or if there's a community cleanup activity in your neck of the woods that you want to tell us about, get in touch. You can call us, 709-722-7111, 1-800-563-8255. You can text us, 709-327-8206, or emails thesignal@cbc.ca. Joining us, we got a full house here, and plus we're going to call some folks. Lots of people to talk to and hear from today on the show. We've got Brittany Tizard, owner and operator of BT Custom Cleaners. How you doing?
Hi.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Marilyn Taylor, Manager of Education, Employment, and Social Enterprise at Choices for Youth. Hi, welcome back.
Hello, good to be here.
Matt Dines, Marketing Officer at Choices for Youth. Welcome back as well.
Hey, thanks for having me.
And John Rossiter, Senior Manager, Restore St. John's. Hello.
Hello.
We'll start with you, John.
Yeah.
When I say spring cleaning, what comes to mind for you, either personally or professionally?
Well, professionally, I think it opportunity for Habitat, of course, for Restore. So spring cleaning is a major time of year for us. So we look forward to that time of year when people are getting kind of elbows deep in their home projects and, bringing lots of new product into the shop. And personally, I'm a big declutter guy. So I can't relax at home or I can't be comfortable if my environment is not organized and neat in some capacity. So I like to try to stay sane by making sure that I don't have a pile of junk around me. So
yeah, right. No, if it doesn't spark joy, right? Marie Kondo it, just get rid of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice and neat. So neat, hey? You're a neat person?
I try to be.
Yeah. I'm
usually.
For me, that's a lifelong mission.
Yeah. You get kind of you get stuck in these little ruts, I guess, where there's things that kind of build up around you in your home, and you don't quite even you overlook them. You don't see them, right? They're there, and then one day you're like, wait a minute. I've been walking past this thing in the middle of my living room for like 4 months.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, we moved into a spot late November, and the previous owners had cats. Yeah. And we are like, I don't think there's ever going to be a day where there's not cat hair somewhere in that house. Because like I'm cleaning, I'm like, oh look, a big pocket of it here and on the window, and like literally everywhere. So that's the mission. Yeah. In the Walsh house. So.
Good luck with that.
Thank you. Matt, what about yourself?
I think spring cleaning for me is about rediscovering some of the summertime things that I like to do. So getting out the bike or maybe getting out some of the lawn furniture that's been tucked away in the basement. So it's always a time where we have to flip our space around the home. And it's also fun kind of rediscovering those toys because, we live seasonally in Newfoundland. So as the seasons change, of course, you get to pull some things out and you get to, remember all the things that you own. And I think for some of our customers at Neighborhood, our thrift shop at Choices for Youth, they're probably doing the same thing and saying, wow, I really like that tank top, but I've got a new one I'm going to wear this year and maybe I'm going to pass that one along. So it's a time for kind of like checking in on where things are at and, like you said, finding what you love and finding what you don't love and seeing where that goes.
I feel like if the weather doesn't change, my summer wardrobe may just turn into a museum piece at this point because I'm just getting kind of...
Yeah, well, we're both rocking the wool sweaters here today. So,
Emil, what about yourself?
Spring cleaning, I run similar to John. I don't. She does not thrive in clutter. So I, generally speaking, anyone who knows me have a fairly routine cleaning schedule as it is. But when I think spring cleaning, I always think about the air, and there's something about opening up the windows and letting the breeze go through. Like even if it's super cold out, if I'm spring cleaning, the windows are open and the air is going through, and you can't do that the same in winter. So for me, it never really feels clean until the air can go through.
I love that spring smell, even weather or whatever, that smell you get when there's like the hint of grass or something like alive, like the sweetness of the air as it goes through the house, even if it is a little still chilly, it is great.
Yes, and you cannot find that on a candle. Like Bath and Body Works has tried a lot, but like there is no real spring smell like opening those windows. I guess professionally, neighborhood for sure, big time. Also, if you're into clothing at all, big time for the seasonal switch out, like you said, wardrobe turnover. So, going to be high times for sure for donating. But also with our construction social enterprise, we have a property maintenance arm now where we do dump trailer runs. So at home, I clean all year round, but I don't necessarily throw the big things out.
Yeah.
So thinking this year about spring cleaning from that angle and like getting the broken microwave out of your cleaning cupboard and, getting your old lawnmower away. And maybe that's a new line of business for us. So we're thinking about those things too.
Oh, wow. Right on. Brittany, how you doing?
Good. For me, spring cleaning, I think about just really decluttering, organizing. In the wintertime, we tend to come home after a cold day about being in the weather and just throw our hats, throw our mitts, kick off our boots. So there's a lot of salt around. A lot of dirt and stuff that gets inside the closets, and we tend to pack everything up in our spare closets. So it's a lot of just taking stuff out, keeping what you want to keep, and then getting rid of, donating, throwing out. The chances are if you haven't used it, in the last year, you're probably not going to. It's probably time to get rid of it. So it's just basically getting your house ready for the summer months because, obviously winter is a lot different than the summer and the spring months. So, getting that stove taken out, the fridge taken out, in behind, underneath all your furniture, washing those bed sheets. Just those kind of things, get the spring in the air.
Yeah, so a question, all right, for the table. Bed sheets, where are we at with this? Like, I'm of the opinion every 2 weeks, pillowcases every week, but I will say, as a young man back in my 20s, bed sheets were, I think, at best seasonal.
I don't want to talk about it. Somebody else.
Fair. No comment. Fair. Yeah, fair, John. Anyone else?
I would say bed sheets, definitely bi-weekly and pillowcases weekly. I would have to agree with that. And also it's your own personal preference, Some people tend to go weekly. Some people go
sweat
monthly.
less. Right.
Yeah, some people just don't wash them all. So,
so there you go. Right, this is the range. Tell us about BT Custom Cleaners.
Well, we're in business now, almost 6 years come this summer. We have residential, commercial cleaning, anything really. And I wanted to do a custom cleaning because everybody's different. Everybody's preferences is different. Yeah. So, I didn't want anybody to just have to, pick a certain type of package. I'm like, we have, general cleaning. If you want to add on your oven, you want to add on your stove, you want us to clean your grout, I just wanted it to be custom so that it fits everybody's needs because everybody's different. That's basically what we do.
Do you get more calls in spring, or is it just all year round, depending?
Well, we have a deep clean package. So realistically, it's kind of like the same thing as a spring clean, except for spring clean is more like, organizing, decluttering. We do get a lot, I guess, like a higher volume of calls during the springtime, and then also Christmas. There are our two highest seasons. Yeah.
Family coming over, you got to get ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of bookings for Christmas.
Wow. This place is not presentable. We need help. We're going to call in the professionals.
Yeah.
What tips do you have? What are some easy cleaning tips? There's the, oh my gosh, we've got to call you in. But just for the regular run-of-the-mill, here's some easy things that maybe people don't think about. What do you find for making work easier and cleaning at home?
I would definitely suggest anybody cleaning at home to start top to bottom. There's a lot of things, I trained with Molly Maid out of Ontario, and there was a lot of things when I started that I was just like, what? I didn't even clean that in my own bathroom. It's just things that you don't think about. And so, definitely to work smarter would be top to bottom. I see a lot of people clean their counters and everything else, but they've already got their floors mopped, and I'm like, you ain't doing nothing.
No.
You know, you
Yeah.
want to have the counters and everything done before you do the floors. The floor should always be your last thing to do. Take up your rugs, do under your rugs, vacuum your rugs, wash your bath mats. Like these general things that maybe people don't do on a regular basis or even think to do.
Yeah, because top to bottom. So if like you got your floor done, but then you've still got a bunch of dishes on the counter or in the sink or whatever, and you're wiping off the counter, everything's going back on the floor, or
Right.
stuff is going back on the floor anyways.
Yeah,
All right.
exactly.
Where are you? Like, where's the industry at for environmentally friendly, or thinking of products that are friendlier for people and how they react and the environment? Because I mean, as a kid, sometimes I would go home and there would be cleaning done, and the walls would smell of bleach or Javex or whatever, and I'm like, oh, well, this place sure is clean today. And while it does a fantastic job at cleaning, I don't know how good it is for you. So what are your thoughts on that?
Definitely, if you're going to use like bleach, dilute it. Should just be like a little bit of bleach and like the majority of it water.
Yeah.
I wouldn't suggest just doing, and I've done it myself. Like I've used just a whole whack of bleach and then I'm out like coughing my lungs up.
Yeah. Like,
So
this
yeah,
is not.
no, definitely do not suggest it, but that was my own personal use. But yeah, no, definitely we haven't, it may surprise you, but we haven't had many people that ask for environmental friendly.
Oh wow.
I think
Yeah.
we're just used to cleaning our house, I guess,
Yeah.
with chemicals.
Yeah.
So we really haven't had a big.
No, they're just like, just get this place clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't care, just clean it.
Usually they don't even ask.
And is there any type of like, for example, okay, like we've got hardwood floors, so we'll use we've got like a steam cleaner that I use every week. Is there any kind of piece of kit that you're like, no, this is fantastic, and like everyone should kind of have it? Like, is there anything that you find really great?
Vinegar water.
Vinegar water. We have a bottle of that at home, but then it makes everything smell like vinegar.
It does, yeah.
which
But
is
if you put
better
like
than
a
bleach,
drop,
actually. Yeah.
Yeah. If you put like a drop of like, them scented oil, if you even just put a couple of drops of that in it, it's not
Okay.
as bad.
Okay. And why?
Because the smell, like if you use like a scented one.
And why does it work so well for a tip for vinegar water? Like, what do you find for its functionality?
I find it just like it doesn't make it streaky.
Yeah.
You ever notice that like if you use too much water or like when you clean your floor, sometimes you look and you're like, it looks a little bit like
Yeah.
blemishes on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. I find vinegar water it takes it away.
Right on.
Yeah.
I like these tips. We're going to keep visiting them. What about the rest of you for your spring cleaning? Is there anything that or just regular cleaning? Is there anything that you think, no, this works great, or are there any difficulties that you've had?
Everyone's looking at me because I got something to say, and I do. I was thinking about this. I have this awesome set. I saw it from a local interior designer here in St. John's, and I don't know where you can buy it locally, so I did have to buy it on Amazon. It's just one of those products, and it is a drill bit attachment for your drill with all the different brushes.
Oh, I got one of those.
Yeah, and so I have a lot of tile in my house now, specifically my washroom, and boy, can that get those things clean.
So like you use a drill, and the attachment is for
Different brushes. And
so
if
like
you have knotty pine, or if you have grout, or like things that are really hard to get in to get all the bits out.
Yeah.
A whole different variety of brushes that go on the drill, and then you have the force of the drill to clean the grout. And then like my shower floor, for example, is a honeycomb tile, and so you do it all, and then put the shower on, and it's seriously like that's why things like TikTok are famous.
Or you can be like me and you can put a really abrasive brush on like a 20-volt drill and full speed and then just destroy your shower base with it. Yeah, you could do that too.
Yeah, no. So there's a bit of gray space.
It's not
there
ideal.
for-
it's like the shower base now is like what, like sheet of paper thin now. Like any day you're gonna break through.
Oh, I'm going to get this some clean. And it's like,
Oh, I can see.
whoops, that's a lot of scratches.
All over my floor.
Moving on.
No, I didn't do that. That was not my
That's good.
experience.
No, I think that's
started slow.
See, these tips are so good today already.
Oh, those tips, those bits and tips.
That's really cool, though.
Yeah,
I
it was
never thought
like a
about
$20 purchase. Can't recommend enough, especially if you have animals, and we've got a lot of animals. But the floor looks clean, and then you do that, and it's like, oh, now it's clean.
Yeah, once I started using mine a little more responsibly, I had better results. Yeah.
Well, what about cleaning blinds? Like, 'cause other than like taking a cloth, closing them, and like wiping them with a cloth, is that how you do it? I'm just curious. Like, there's no other way?
Yeah, we usually do like a dry wipe
Okay.
first.
Yeah.
Also, I just want to say that it's such a pain to clean blinds.
No, this is have not done that yet this year. So.
Best way to clean blinds is by throwing them in the garbage and putting them out for pickup. That's the best way to clean them.
Yeah.
Right, that is
We
true.
definitely recommend just calling somebody for that. But yeah, we just do like a dry dust and then just go over it with a very damp cloth just to kind of lock in the dust that's gone. Yeah.
Okay. Dry, then damp cloth.
Yeah.
All right, that's probably going to be this coming weekend.
Yeah.
And Mel's like, no.
No.
Just leave
Ditch
them.
the blinds.
Ditch the blinds.
Ditch the blinds.
Just throw them out.
And this is the last cleaning question for a bit, because I'll go cycle through some other stuff. But curtains, like, you know, a year, like, is it a yearly thing? What do people call you in to clean curtains, or do you is that something you folks do?
We have clean curtains. Again, it's preference.
Yeah.
Everybody's different. But I would definitely give them a good wash, like at least every 3 months. Like, you'd be surprised how fast dust collects.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So wash your curtains. All right. I did not know that.
Yeah.
my to-do list by the end of the show.
I know, I'm feeling a little attacked.
Yeah,
here,
you're doing
right?
yourself no favors here.
Because I thought the answer for curtains was never.
Yeah.
So, you know, John, talk to me about, as I'm learning here, talk to me about Restore and everything you folks do.
Yeah, so Restore is a social enterprise for Habitat for Humanity.
Yeah.
So Restore, I like to call it your home improvement outlet. And it kind of serves two purposes. It's kind of an outlet store for businesses that, you know, send their overstocked product, discontinued product, damages, scratch and dents, customer returns. So we get a lot of brand new product in there as well, but it's also a thrift store that kind of focuses on that home improvement piece as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then, like if so, give me some examples of who you might be getting stuff from, or like like how this, like the types of stuff that's coming in then.
Yeah, so our largest category is furniture. So we do sell, we accept donations of, and we sell new and used furniture.
Right.
So we will get new items from retail stores.
Yeah.
On the building supply front, so, you know, we're into appliances, home decor, housewares, you know, like I say, furniture, the building materials, flooring, anything in the scope of really in that home improvement web. So we do get donations from, you know, Home Depot, Canadian Tire, you just flooring companies. So again, it's a place where you can go to find all sorts of stuff, you know, things for every budget. You could find a designer sofa that was a customer return maybe, or you can find something that is, you know, very cool and vintage and, you know, it's in great shape from the 70s. And so kind of, you know, something for everyone.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. You know, do you ever run, like, what are some of the challenges? Because if you've got, fine, if it's from a retail store, you're like, oh, the scratch in it, but it's actually 100% fine, as long as, you know, if the lamp goes right over it, you'll never know.
Yep.
But some of the previously used stuff, like, what are some of the challenges for processing that?
It's tricky because we are selling these items, right?
Yeah,
So these things are coming into the store. We're selling them to raise money for our Habitat home builds. That's literally what we do. So a byproduct of that, of course, is that we're keeping things out of the landfill, and that's amazing. We love that part of the mission. But ultimately, our number one goal is to raise funds for our home building project. So I tend to try to tell people, you know, if it isn't something that you're going to that you wouldn't try to sell on Marketplace, it's probably something that is not really suitable for us, right? So we do get a lot of people that are trying to donate, or unfortunately maybe even dumping without our knowledge, which of course is happening a lot. You know, things that are in fact at the end of their life, right? And if it is at the end of a product life, it is time to retire.
There comes a point in time where there's no, you know, there's no saving it. Sure.
Yeah. So I try to say new and used goods that are, you know, in usable condition, right? So like we can't take appliances that are not working. You know, we can't take a sofa or a chair with really excessive wear or peeling on the leather, or, you know, we're selling this stuff. So people are going to pay money for this. So we need it to be something that is certainly usable. But the amount of usable items that go to the landfill is absolutely crazy. Yeah. So that's kind of where we come in.
Yeah. It's like if it's usable, if this is something that you're like, you know what, for whatever reason, you know, maybe you need a bigger sofa, or you've moved and you like whatever. But if it's something you're like, this is still in great condition, then you're an idea for this to end up.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, and we're a nonprofit, so I mean, you know, like I say, all the funds generated from these sales, they support the home build mission. So it's a socially conscious decision. So
And then when you see folks coming in looking around and then giving things a second life, but also what that can mean for the different budget range, what's that like?
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. So, one of the common misconceptions that we still struggle to overcome is that, Restore is a store for low-income families, and that's not entirely true. While we are very proud to say we are a great resource for low-income families, we are open to the public. We're open to anybody to shop there. Items, you're going to find items priced at market value for that particular item, factoring in condition, even brand name. There's going to be an antique dresser. It might cost you hundreds of dollars, but right next to that, there's going to be a dresser that's probably $40, right? So that piece of being, something for everybody, and you get all walks of life coming in. Treasure hunters, contractors. It's really a great hub of people who are coming in the store to find the next treasure or the next thing that they can make a cool project out of.
Cool.
Yeah.
Any of this strike a chord on the thrift side of things?
Yeah, absolutely. So speaking on behalf of Neighborhood, Choices for Youth's thrift social enterprise, it's very similar where we do serve low-income families or, somebody who's looking to grab a great deal on a piece of clothing. But I guess something that's a little bit different about Neighborhood is that we have a fixed price model. And that's a little bit more accessible when it's a T-shirt maybe than like an antique furniture. But at Neighborhood, you'll find a shirt with tags brand new that somebody, maybe didn't fit them and they donated. Or you might find something that's a little bit older, like a Levi's jacket, and they'll be priced at the same price. So it does make treasure hunting fun, but it also makes it accessible for anybody to shop there.
Right. Yeah.
Typically for Restore, our new product, so anything new in the store, our rule of thumb is everything that comes in that's brand new. Of course, there's a little bit of market value, a little bit of guessing with the used items. But if it's brand new, we get online, we look it up, roughly 50% of retail. And that's the price point.
That's where it works, right?
Yeah.
Are you ever surprised when sometimes like something comes in that's a little older and you're like, oh, this is still in great condition?
It's incredible.
Yeah, like some of the older like refrigerators that are still kind of in circulation. I know they're probably not energy efficient, but the fact they're still functioning,
it's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And there are a lot of restores across Canada that will not take an appliance over 10 years old. Yeah. But I'm like, nope. Bring it on in.
Hey,
if it works, cool. I want it.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Let's go to the phones. We got Chris Griffin on the line, Happy Valley Goose Bay Recyclers. How you doing, Chris?
Not too bad, man. How are you making it today?
Good. Thanks for coming on the show. What's the weather like in Happy Valley Goose Bay today?
Oh, it's absolutely beautiful. I thought it's,
I hate you already. This is totally. Why did I even ask that?
Man. Oh. It's fun. It's fun to be in the province, I'd say today, buddy. It's absolutely gorgeous. Yeah.
Gross. I can't believe I asked that as the first question. Eh?
No, it's too bad. That's it.
Well, congrats. Soak all of that in. I'm really happy for everyone who has son. Tell us about the history of how recycling got on the go with your group in Happy Valley Goose Bay.
Okay, so we're a grassroots organization. We started in 2017 with a couple of like-minded individuals who seen a need for recycling here in Goose Bay. We're part of the province in Labrador. People forget that sometimes, but we don't have curbside recycling here like the rest of the province and bigger centers have. So we started out with a small group of people that started in a little shed, and we brought our recycling down there, and we shipped it out to Newfoundland by pallet. And now we've grown. The town of Happy Valley Goose Bay gave us an area in their old arena. It's an old military arena where we can store enough recycling to fill a tractor-trailer load, and individuals come once a month. They pay their $10 drop-off fee for recycling, and then we ship it out. And to date, we've sent out approximately 10 transport truckloads of material, which we did a rough math on it last night, was about 80,000 pounds of recycling that went to Newfoundland and went into the Newfoundland Labrador recycling stream.
That's a lot, 80,000 pounds. What?
Yeah. Yes, since 2017 we did the math on it. Yeah, we do it, and it's when we did the math on it last night, I was flabbergasted how much we've sent out, and for the small group of individuals that organize it, and the individuals in the town that help that come and bring the recycling, I think it's absolutely phenomenal.
Why is it so important for you folks to be involved in this and to be doing it?
Well, I mean, it just basically comes down to if you're not a part of the solution, you're a part of the problem. And we don't have recycling here, and my kids know what recycling is. They don't throw stuff in the garbage. They put it in the paw for either compost, or they put it in the paw for the recycling we do. And I think 2024, everybody should be having curbside recycling throughout the province. I think everybody needs to get on board with the recycling, and I just think it's a need and it's a want within the community. We have probably, I don't know, about 60 to 75 households that partake in this, and it's growing constantly. Every month we do it. There's more and more people, more and more new people that come here, and they say, well, I moved here from Halifax, Nova Scotia, or BC or Ontario, and said, I can't believe there's no curbside recycling in this town, and we provide that for individuals. If they want to recycle, they can, and it's simply you hold on your recycling for once a month, and you pay a $10 drop-off fee, and that $10 that you pay covers our shipping because we ship out on a backhaul. We're kind of the end of the road in Goose Bay, so a lot of stuff is shipped in here. Trucks go out empty. So when an empty truck goes out, we'll fill it with recycling, and they bring that back to Newfoundland in the recycling stream. And that's what your $10 pays for, is completely break-even thing we have going on here. But it's worked since 2017, so it's good. And we've had support from the MMSB, bought us a baler for baling our cardboard, and the town of Happy Valley Goose Bay has given us some financial support as well. But there's a want here, and I really think there's a need, and we're just doing what we can to help out.
So where would you like to see things go then? You said since 2017, but if we go ahead 3, 4, 5 years, what do you want to see?
Oh, I just want to see a blue bin in front of my house, and I just put it in a blue bag, and it goes in the stream instead of me. We go up there and we package it, and we put it on pallets, and we wrap it, and I have to be there for the transport truck to load the transport truck. It's very volunteer demanding, and there's John Gowdy is a big part of it. Cora Hamel Party. I got to get two of them to show because there's 3 of us in on it, and I just want to see it on my curb and be able to do it just like everybody else in the bigger centers in the province.
So then every spring, if this is a spring cleaning show we have today, what are your thoughts, either personally or for your community, around when I say that term, or spring cleaning?
Well, I remember you at the start of your show. You talked about the spring thaw and everything you see that comes out of the snow here.
All
My
the
biggest
treats.
pet peeve is all the treats. My biggest pet peeve is the dog owners that pick their poo up and they throw their poo in the snow like it's going to disappear in the spring. But the spring cleaning, I don't know. It's just like a rejuvenated community. There's a spring cleanup in town here, and there's some business owners within the community that put a bunch of prizes forward here in Goose Bay. And last year it went off phenomenally. I got to give a shout out to all the businesses in town that donated prizes, and community was buzzing and people were cleaning up, and it was great. So it's kind of sad that businesses need to do that to get the spring cleanup out, but I think it's across the province there's litter and it needs to be cleaned up, and it's just you got to start with the kids and just kind of ingrain it in the kids and get them into it, so we don't have to do these spring cleanups when they get older. It'll just be second nature to throw everything in the garbage.
There you go.
Where it belongs, or recycle it.
Chris Griffin, thanks so much for coming on the show.
No problem, man. Great show, buddy. I'm loving listening to it. You take care.
All right, you too, buddy. Chris Griffin there, Happy Valley Goose Bay Recyclers. So he mentions the dog doo-doo issue. I always, the one that strikes me, it's when folks have it left in the plastic bag, but like on a trail somewhere, like it's some piece of modern art that they've got on display. And you're just like, but you're so close. Like you picked it up partially, and then you're like, no, let's preserve this in time right here forever, because that's who we are. I'm Adam Walsh. This is The Signal. It is our spring cleaning show. If there are cleanup activities in your neck of the woods, get in touch with us, right? You can text us, 709-327-8206. You can email us, thesignal@cbc.ca, or you can call 709-722-7111, 1-800-563-8255. Here with me in studio for the conversation, we've got Brittany Tizard, owner and operator of BT Custom Cleaners, Marilyn Taylor, manager of education, employment, and social enterprise at Choices for Youth, Matt Dines, marketing officer at Choices, and John Rossiter, senior manager of Restore St. John's. Any thoughts on what Chris was saying there? Do we all recycle? I recycle.
Oh, absolutely.
Hands up. Yeah.
I just think it's important what he said about diverting things from the landfill, and that's one of the things that is important about donating clothing as well. It's really easy to see a shirt that you've either lost your enjoyment of, or if it's still good, it's still got some life in it, but you might be reaching to throw that in the garbage, whereas somebody else could get some more life out of it. Yeah.
I do think sometimes you see those bins, right, throughout communities that are stuffed so full, there's stuff kind of coming out of them. There's stuff like put next to them, and you're just like, none of that's gonna kind of go anywhere because it's now all getting wet and dirty in the weather. So I think it's a nice. The point I'm trying to bring up is it's just about being thoughtful around where you want your stuff to go, why you're doing it, and what it's for.
Yeah, unfortunately, there is still a large percentage of folks that try to use organizations like ours, I think, as a disposal. So, we try to urge people to, drop your items at business hours, be conscious of that. Don't leave things outside on the ground, because then they're no longer usable.
If it's for people, treat it as something for people.
Right, yeah. Exactly, yeah. And then unfortunately, if you do that now, it's what was okay is now not suitable for use, and that's really unfortunate. So
What about for you folks?
I think too. I was thinking about something John said earlier, and certainly, when we were designing Neighborhood, a part of the customer profile that you have to think about is the donor. Yeah. So I think a lot about options, like providing options to donate, and so I have a separate bit of info in this world as well, because I do own a vintage and resale boutique downtown, and we're a great option for people who want to resell things that have a higher value. And it also it does I get things brought to. I actually experience it more in my own small business than I do at Neighborhood, where people try to dump, because we're also at a time where people want to make some money back on things. So that's a bit of a separate problem that I kind of have. But at Neighborhood, I mean, there are lots of things. I know lots of people who consign, sell on Marketplace, and also donate heavily to thrift stores and things. So for us at Neighborhood, like part of designing that, again, that blanket pricing was making space for not just everyone to shop, but also everyone to donate, because there's lots of things that probably shouldn't be more than a couple of bucks to be resold. And we wanted to take, for our youth trainees who work there, we wanted to take the guesswork away and make it really straightforward. But from a donation side, a customer side, and an employee side, there's no guesswork with the stuff that comes in. And I think that's a really unique sort of service offering that we have.
Oh, right on.
People will come to my own business and say, well, I don't know if this is fit to consign. I said, well, that you probably should have thought about that a little bit, before you came down, because we are downtown, and I, don't need anybody to tell me that it's difficult to get downtown. But you came down here, and with, if you're not sure, I mean, I know people have, the why and the intention as to how and why people donate varies from place to place, certainly. But for us, like, I really like that it's all cards on the table as to why we do it, how we do it, what you can bring. It's a really safe option. But we did have to put a sign outside that was, with Matt, be my right hand over here with the comms and stuff, that fairly says, fairly bluntly, please do not leave stuff outside, because if you do, it is not usable. It will go in the garbage, and then you don't get to feel good about this donation.
Right. Yeah. That's something we struggle with, daily. So this isn't a weekly thing. This is a daily thing.
Right. And, so what's the goal? Is the goal to get it out of your trunk because it's been there for 3 months? Or is the goal to actually, keep it out of the landfill and see it used? Or is your goal to see young people employed? Or is your goal to come in and shop? Everyone's goals are different. But you have to tell people sometimes, No,
strong reminders are good. One time, so years ago, when I was a reporter, we were doing a story for CBC, because one of those seasonal stories of dumping in the woods, right? People just taking garbage. So they sent me out Top Fowler's Road, which is just up the road from where I grew up, and I was like, I know where to go, because growing up, you'd always walk just past where, I guess Circle Square Ranch used to be, Top Fowler's Road, into the woods there, and there would always be folks who would bring in garbage and dump it. So I'm on this assignment years ago. And lo and behold, we're there in the CBC van, and next thing you know, a truck comes in loaded with garbage, and then it sees us and turns around. But you're like, "What were you doing here?" There's nothing else here. There's no reason to drive in here to turn around. But then they saw us, so we I guess prevented that load from being dumped that day, and we may have gotten some video of it too, which was made great for the story when I go back to CBC. But I'm also glad. I'm hoping we're doing fewer of these stories, because we have places. There's more education around stuff, and people are being more conscientious around what they're doing with what they want to discard. Let's go to the phones. We've got Karen Hickman on the line, Executive Director, Clean St. John's. Hi, Karen.
Hi, Adam. How you doing?
Good. How's everything with Clean St. John's?
Things are good. the perfect timing to talk to you guys today because yesterday at the regular city council meeting, we kicked off our Pick It Up for YYT spring cleanup campaign. So the timing was great today.
Excellent. Tell us about the campaign this year. I'm assuming it's things like, painting traffic boxes, getting cigarette butts and litter off the ground and everything else, but give me more details if you could.
Well, the Pick It Up for YYT is a separate program from the Butt-Free YYT and the Traffic Box Art program. Basically, the Pick It Up for YYT is a cleanup campaign in which we encourage schools, businesses, community groups, neighborhood associations to register cleanups to pick up the litter. Get as much litter off the streets as we can. And so we have a Clean St. John's, basically. So I was in a meeting just a few minutes ago, and I was saying that we signed a proclamation yesterday. In this past week, we have 27 registered cleanups already, so which is great. 27.
So how does this compare to previous years? Because you've been at this for a year or two.
Years and years. Well, this is only for years and years we've been at this. This is only this week. We will have we're hoping over 200 by the time the summer is over.
Cool.
So that's quite significant when you think about it. Like we have schools, we've got cleanups in the Waterford River, Tessier Park. There's one in Chocolate Place this weekend. People are really, really enthusiastic about having their neighborhood and their community clean, and that's wonderful because no one likes to go out for a walk and see litter all over the place. So we're quite pleased with the registration in just this week. So after the proclamation yesterday, we'll do some marketing. We hope to have a lot more people registering with us to do cleanups, and we are also happy to provide them with garbage bags, anyone who registers with us, and we're also happy to have it picked up.
Yeah, when you have a lot of people who want to see their communities clean and you get all those folks kind of getting in touch, that must be a great feeling. But how does it feel to be executive director of Clean St. John's when every spring it's dirty St. John's?
I know. I know when I see it dirty after the blanket of snow was removed, and I see it when I walk sometimes, and I think, okay, we've got lots of volunteers that are going to help get this clean again. So I sort of feel good that I know there's a lot of people going to help, but then I sort of think, how did this happen over a period of months?
Each year, though, and are people? Do you think folks are like? Is it and I know there's litter and people litter all over the world, but some spots are more condensed than others. Like, is there a cultural thing to litter in the capital city of Newfoundland and Labrador? What do you think it is with the Tim Hortons cups, the cigarette butts, and everything else that just gets thrown out of car windows, just like it's like an apple core or something that's just going to go back to Mother Earth?
There's definitely an attitude with some people that don't even think that it's litter or that it affects people or our environment. But I sort of feel hopeful in a sense that I really do. We had 34 grade 6 students speak off at City Hall last Thursday. And basically it was speak up and promote environmental responsibility. And the 34 grade 6 students that spoke all talked about the environment and a clean city. And it really gave me a lot of hope for the future, to be honest, that there's kids who really, really care about recycling, about a clean city. So I left that night feeling really good about it. So yes, when I see the litter after the blanket of snow is gone, I'm like, oh my goodness, we're going to need a lot of volunteers this year. But then last Thursday, I felt really hopeful that young people are feeling positive about a clean environment.
That's a good spot to leave it on. Any other notes to add before I let you go, Karen?
Well, I would like, while I have the opportunity, to ask your listeners if they're interested in doing a cleanup. It could be small. It could be with your kids after supper. It could be your business. To please reach out to us. You can go on our website, cleanstjohns.ca, and register a cleanup, and we will do everything we can to assist you.
And especially if you're one of those litter bugs, you owe it to Karen Hickman to get involved.
Absolutely.
Pick the stuff back up. Karen, thanks so much.
Thank thank you for the opportunity, Adam.
All right, Karen Hickman, Executive Director, Clean St. John's there. Let's go back to folks here in the studio. Any thoughts on what Karen was saying? Because it is the thing, right? Every year, no matter what community you're in, typically snow melts and you're like, oh, really? Really?
So I was at that speak off last Thursday.
Okay.
And I just had to laugh because absolutely, like, it's always inspiring, but it was absolutely. So it was a lot of participants, right? It started at 6:30. It went really late, and I left thoroughly depressed because every single speech was about how all the animals are dead and like the metric tons of plastic put in the ocean, and we're all going to die of forest fires caused by litter.
There was no like
and,
optimistic note at the end.
Yeah, there
or?
wasn't. But while important information, and it was so like again hopeful as message,
real
but
stuff,
it was real heavy for late night on Thursday after when you've got a 12-year-old looking you dead in the eyes saying you're gonna die.
So the kids got real.
They got really real, and they were really well spoken, really great group, and a lot of speeches.
Wow.
A lot of speeches.
A lot of speeches. All right. Anyone? Any other thoughts?
Well, I guess I do see the hopefulness, though, that, we do see people in the community who want to look after the space that we share. And, we've seen that at Neighborhood. And in the past, we've hosted community cleanups. And it's always been people with their young kids, I think, is the number one turnout. And, trying to teach them that, if we're going to make a mess, we have to clean up after ourselves. And maybe us as a group, some of us maybe clean up a little bit more. Some of us might throw a coffee cup out the window, but, hopefully we can kind of overcome it a little bit.
Yeah, we don't have a date set yet, but with the exception of last year, we have done a neighborhood cleanup. I mean, the name is too good, right? Neighborhood cleanup from the neighborhood for the neighborhood.
Brought to you by the neighborhood.
And I mean, you've got nans and, sweet folks in the neighborhood showing up with baked cookies and thank you cards and say, I can't really get down on my knees to help you, but I brought you a tray of cookies. So it's just a really lovely team building and community building event. And we hand-deliver some invitations to that area there on Pearson Street and surrounding area. So we will be doing that again this year, a little later in June. So I guess we'll have to register with Clean St. John's.
Oh, yeah.
And let them know we're going to do it.
Yeah.
And one fun fact I did learn at that speak off, though, was that one of the biggest misnomers, I guess, in the kind of reduce, reuse, recycle rhetoric out there is that cigarette butts are biodegradable when they're not really, or it takes a crazy long time.
Yeah, no, of course not.
And it's the number one cause of litter. Now, I was told this by a group of 12-year-olds. I'm assuming this is factually correct.
They got the facts straight. Yeah. No, they're not.
And at our neighborhood cleanup, historically, we had so many cigarette butts in one location, we had to go get a shovel.
Yeah.
There were so many. So we look forward to doing that again this year for sure. Great way to bring the community together.
And it's incredible the things that you'll find. I mean, from the smallest cigarette butts that add up to like mattress frames in the woods of a park off Torbay Road. I mean, the dumping doesn't only happen in rural Newfoundland. I think people are trying to throw something away in the middle of the city oftentimes and save a buck, or I don't know, just get rid of it. Yeah.
When it's it's gotten pretty easy to go to Robin Hood Bay if you're in the and yes, there like we've on the show a little while ago we talked about issues with what we used to call the dump or whatever, but Bell Island's been dealing with stuff. There's other parts of the province that there are real issues for accessibility, but for the metro region it is really easy.
Yeah. Right. And there's more services here as well. Like Mary Lynn alluded to our other social enterprise, Impact Construction, which deals in property maintenance, and you can call them if you have something that's larger that needs to be moved. I'm sure we can work it out. Let's find a good solution to it.
Brittany Tisdale, I want to go back to some cleaning tips on things. You mentioned with your training and then starting the business and stuff, there's things that you learned. What are some things that folks overlook that you're like, actually, you know what, you really don't overlook that because it's important and it can make a difference?
Right. I found that it was more of, your lampshades or, your toilet paper roll holders or your towel rack holders.
We need to clean these?
Yeah.
I'll be attacked again.
Why are you being so mean to us?
Right. Yes, we actually do need to clean those.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just things like that when I cleaned my own house, because I used to clean my mom's house for her all the time when I was younger. So nobody's surprised that I own a cleaning business. I just love cleaning. And so when I started training in Ontario, I was like, just blown away at like, I'm like, I've been cleaning since I'm like 12. Like, how have I not been cleaning this? So it's actually a pretty big shock. So there is a lot of things that people don't think about. And like I mentioned earlier, like, people don't always think to pull out your stove and, clean around the sides of your stove and under your stove and under your fridge, like the back of the radiators on the refrigerators. You can only imagine the things we've seen in there.
Oh, yeah.
So, these kinds of things that we don't get around to, we don't think about. Definitely spring cleaning, get a good deep cleaning, and then it's easier to maintain.
So then what, for the deep cleaning side of it, how far do you go for, like, when we say deep cleaning, what do you mean? And then what would maintaining be?
So, like, I always suggest to new clients to take a deep cleaning first, which is like your baseboards, spot cleaning your walls, around your edges of your door frames, your doors, baseboards, light switches, light fixtures, like everything.
Like
basically.
Clean everything.
Yeah.
Top to bottom, clean it all.
Top to bottom.
In that order.
Yeah. Like underneath all your furniture, all that kind of stuff. And then the maintenance of it. So like once you have that bulk done, like you're dust free now, underneath all of your stuff is, the dog hair is gone that's built up there the last year, all this stuff is gone. So to maintain it is so much easier because, say if you went in and it took 4 hours to do a deep clean, now when we come back in 2 weeks' time, it's only going to take us an hour and a half, right? So now it's only to run over things versus giving everything a scrub.
I mentioned the spot we moved into that had cats before, right? So the first time we did laundry and we turned the dryer on, and like the lint trap, it was like I pulled out a cat hair sweater from the lint trap. I was shocked at how much could actually be in one place at one time.
For sure. Pet hair is probably like a thing that maybe people think that it gets all taken out, but you'd be surprised at the places that it can hide. There's tumbleweeds underneath, planters, and so the pet hair is definitely a thing that you want to put more detail into if you have pets.
How do you do so there's vacuuming, but like how do you tackling pet hair? Like how do you tackle it other than repeatedly cleaning?
Would have to if you have pets, I always suggest to at least deep clean underneath your furniture, pick everything off the floor, shake out your mats, vacuum your mats, wash your mats. This is the easiest way. And then and people also on your bed sheets, I know people love their pets to sleep in the bed, but you want to get those sheets washed probably more often because it does cling on. I'm after having duvet covers taken off of an Airbnb bed, and they've had a pet stay there, and I've had to wash it 3 times.
Wow.
And then, get the lint, because you can buy the dryer sheets for pet hair. Oh. And I'd still have to dry it 3 times. Pet hair really clings on, especially depending on what kind of pet you have. Long-haired pets seem to be worse. You really want to make sure that you just take care of these things that you probably don't think about doing on a regular basis. But if you have pets, it's probably wise to do more of a thorough cleaning every couple of weeks versus just a maintenance.
So what's the feeling for you then when a spot is just perfect?
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just love and I always picture it as your space is kind of a space in your mind. If your house is decluttered and it's clean, it's fresh, then your mind is able to build on more of a clearer platform versus if you have, I know it gets overwhelming when people are well, I don't know where to start. My storage room is full and, the junk drawer is just out of control. And it's at that point in time, it's it's just too much, and people try to start it and then they can't get through it, right? So you never want to start something either that you can't finish. That's probably when you're best off just, picking up the phone and being oh, hey, I need some help, get you back where you need to be. And then again, it comes around to the maintenance. Everything is all about the maintenance, but you have to get the bulk of the work done first.
Right, take the time, do it. Have you ever been called in somewhere where you're nope, not doing this?
In my mind. I actually had a few months ago, my sister-in-law's sister, she had a home that she had rented out, and it was 3 dumpsters, these big dumpsters.
Yeah.
Well, we took out about 3 dumpsters full of garbage. It was a lot of garbage piled up throughout the whole house. It was a big job, but places like this, I don't like to decline these types of jobs because, everybody needs help.
It needs to be done.
It needs to be done, right? So I don't ever say that there's a job that I can't do. There will be some way, somehow, we will get it done.
So for the big ones like that, how thankful are people afterwards when they say,
oh my God, like so much. And it's amazing too. Like when I first walked in, I was just like, I was overwhelmed. I was like, oh my God. And then once we got it all done, I walked in and I was like, I'd probably take my shoes off now.
Yeah. Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I can. My mind is erasing at what some of the scenes might be like. As we wind down the show, let's do a look ahead. So what's coming up for everyone now as we move through spring cleaning? What's coming up?
Well, we're getting ready at Restore for a big season for us. It always is. This is home renovation season, so we are looking ahead to that. There's a lot of crazy, cool things coming down the pipe for us. So you want to check us out on our social media and all that good stuff, and follow along for cool new announcements and things. Personally, for me, for spring cleaning, and I would pass this on to anybody else, is to, if something's not good for you anymore, if you're decluttering and you're organizing, make sure you're going to donate those things that are usable, responsibly dispose of the things that are not, and then hire somebody like Brittany to do everything else because you don't want to do it.
So there you go. See, this is
he's got it going on.
Right? Been paying attention to the whole show and summed it up perfectly. I love it. What about on the neighborhood side of things?
With the seasons changing, we're always looking for new inventory. So if you are taking out your clothing and kind of reassessing what you have, if you want to donate with intention, look for those items that people are going to want for spring and summer. There are people in the community who need to wear nice summer clothing, and don't wait until the fall to donate that. Donate that now. If you know you're not going to wear those shorts or flip-flops or tank tops, whatever it is, if you're not going to wear it this summer, donate it. Make some room for some new stuff. And also thrifting and pizza, legendary combo. So if you're going to drop by neighborhood, pop by our sister social enterprise Crust, which is right next door, and grab a slice of pizza and reward yourself for all that hard work of cleaning.
and there really are so many, if you are looking for your stuff to find another place, there are so many places in the community that you can look to. I mean, just simple Google searches, you can find them, right? And like you're saying, be intentional around it, and your stuff can end up with someone else and having another life, which is saves it from the landfill, and also it can help out for any number of ways and reasons. ML?
Yeah, and we're about to add to that list because later on this summer we will be, for any of you who've been following Choices for Youth and any of our social media and any of the great media coverage we've had, we are opening a second location of Neighborhood in our new social enterprise and innovation hub on the Marchant Road. So you'll be able to find us right next to Urban Market. So again, more options to donate.
Do we have a name is there a district name yet for this? Like, what is it? I've heard a couple of things float around for this part of town for St. John's. Do we know yet?
I mean, the folks at Urban Market, I think, call it the Brookfield District.
That's the one I heard.
I'm not sure if that's just their businesses that they have there or not. But
Well, I'm curious if it catches on.
We're moving in with Neighborhood, Crust, the shop, our production, social enterprise, and Impact's Home. So we'll be bringing 4 businesses plus rentable space right to that area very, very soon.
Excellent. Thank you for that. And Brittany, after this today, are you going back to work? What's up? What's on your schedule?
I will be going back to work.
Going back to work. Well, thank you for taking time out to do this today. Then I appreciate
You're welcome.
it. All right, folks. Looking at the time, we're out of time here now today. Thank you, all of you for in studio, all of you for listening to the show today, our spring cleaning show. So Brittany Tizard, Mary Lynn Taylor, Matt Dines, and John Rossiter. If you've got thoughts around the show or ideas for other shows, do get in touch with us, The Signal at cbc.ca for emails. And you can call the Signal line. So if you're listening, you're like, you know what, my community's doing something for spring cleaning, or we have in the past, or we're making plans or whatever, give us a call on the Signal line and leave a message, 709-576-5260. Tomorrow, different show, different topic. Food, charity, food banks, and how our emergency food systems work or don't. One of my guests will talk about how there is a massive epidemic of food insecurity in this country and what that means nationally and locally. The conversation will have that national bit to it. It's going to have a provincial and community level bit to it. We're going to have some lived experience in there, and we'll have a frontline food bank local point of view as well. Do not miss this show tomorrow. Thanks for listening. Until then, bye.